What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building with another banger. Now, first things first, before we get started, I gotta go ahead and say thank God for another day and another opportunity. Now, as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen, today I'm going to be showing y'all a very special build that I put together for you. Now, as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen, this build is going to be called the 3D Paint Defending 2 Guard. Now, the build name is actually going to come out to a 3D 2 Guard, but the way that I made it is definitely going to be special on the defensive end. Now, with this build, we're going to be able to start off rip with at least 80 plus badges. Now, when it comes down to the abilities and the animations, we're going to be able to get everything: pro dribble moves, quick drops, some contact dunks. But then when it comes down to the dribbling, we're also going to be able to be pretty special in this area as well. Now, when it comes down to the actual attributes, these are going to be the ones in which we're able to get a 100 plus for. Now, that's going to be the 3-point shot. Also, when it comes down to the interior and perimeter defense, steal, block, as well as both our offensive and defensive rebound. And really, the main stat and the main focus of this build is going to be the 100 plus steal. Now look, I just want to say thank you for everybody who was tuning in for the first time. And if it's your first time coming through, man, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Smash that like button. Turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family, but more so than anything, comment down TG for thank God, as well as where you're tuning in from watching today, and I most definitely will be sure to hit y'all back with a response. So from the gameplay, you can see that we're pretty much able to do everything out of this build. Now, the main focus about this one is really going to be on the defensive end. So let's go ahead and get started by creating it. So the first thing that we need to do is make it out of the shooting guard position. So let's go with the height of 6'8" today. As for the weight, I'm going to go with 209. And then for the wingspan, I'm going to go ahead and put this to 7'6". Now, to take up the most space on the defensive end, I'm going to go with the body shape of builds. And now from here, we're going to be all set to go to move forward. Now, let's get started with the finishing. I'm going to go with a close shot of a 50. As for the driving layup, I'm going to go with a 70. And then when it comes down to the driving dunk, in order to get some pretty good dunk packages as well as quick drops, go with an 80. And we're going to be set with a total of 9 finishing badges. Now, I like Giant Slayer, Acrobat, Pro Touch, but also Fearless Finisher. And if you throw extra badges towards this build, we're definitely going to be able to get a Posterizer, possibly Limitless Takeoff, Slithery. It really comes down to how you go about the making. Now, when it comes down to the shooting, I'm going to go with the mid-range shot all the way up to a 74. Now, when it comes down to the three-pointer, I'm going to hit y'all with an 83. And then when it comes down to the free throw, I decided to go ahead and put this to a 75, and right there we get a total of 19 badges. Now, I like Amp, Nitty Magician, Volume Shooter, and Space Crater, but also Agent 3 with Green Machine, and then for Tier 3, Limitless Range. Now, this definitely has to be one of my favorite setups going so far into this build, especially with the name, but more so because of how special the defense is going to be. Now, with the playmaking, I'm going to go with the pass accuracy of a 71. As for the ball handle, I went with an 80. And then when it comes down to the speed with ball, go with the 74. And right there we get a total of 17 badges. Now, I like Ankle Breaker with Hyperdrive. Also, when it comes down to Tier 2, Quick First Step, Vice Grip, and then for Tier 3, all of these are nice, but I like handles for days personally, as well as killer combos. Now, this is what we're going to look like when it comes down to the offense. As for the defensive end, let's go ahead and check out what we're going to be able to do. So I'm going to go with the 91 interior defense. As for the perimeter, put this to a 92, 95 when it comes down to our steal. And then when it comes down to the block, I'm going to go ahead and bring this all the way up to a 93. Now, as for the rebounding, I'm going to go with the 78 for the offensive end. Now, for the defensive, I'm going to put this to an 82. And we get a total of 31 defensive badges. Now, if you add everything up together, with the +4 badges from my career, we're going to be able to get at least 80 badges off rip with this build. Now, look. I like ankle braces, also post lockdown on gold, box out beast with workhorse and menace, then for tier 2 Hall of Fame chase down artist, interceptor, glove, anchor, with clamps, rebound chaser, and challenger. Now so far this is what the build is going to be looking like as far as when it comes down to the actual skillful areas. Let's get into the breakdown of the physicals. So these are just really adjustable to your own playstyle and liking. I'm going to go with the speed of an 83. As for the acceleration, I'm going to go with the 78. 77 for our strength. Leave the vertical at a 60. And then throw the rest of the attributes into the stamina. And we should be able to get a perfect 90. And this is what the build is going to be looking like. Now do take into consideration, if you buy your own boost, that's a +5 towards all 4 areas. Buying your own boost is really going to take a huge factor with this build. Then look, if you do decide to run with a teammate that has on Hall of Fame floor general, that's another +4 towards your attributes. The better you play, your stats also gradually raise or lower. And then on top of everything, you get a +10 towards 2 separate takeovers when activated, which will give us the potential to get 2 separate areas of this build to a +20. Now look, we get the sharpshooting takeover, the lockdown, rim protecting, and glass cleaning. Now to be the best overall, first I would go with paint intimidation. The second one, I would go with see the future takeover. Now if you want to mix in the lockdown or limitless range takeover, I can definitely see a few of y'all taking that route, but I definitely believe that the most cheesy lineup is going to be the rim protecting and glass cleaning takeover paired up together. So look, from here, we're all set to move forward. Let's go ahead and check out the build to make sure that we made it correctly. And if you followed every step, we should be getting these 3 comparisons. And as y'all can see, we have created the 3 and D 2 guard, but I already gave y'all my own personal name, the 3 and D paint defending 2 guard, because of how I did go about the setup of this build. Now whichever takeovers that you decided to ride with, take into consideration the boost that I just named, and I'm telling y'all, I think we're set for one of the best builds that you can make with a nice name, especially being on the rare end. Now from here, let's get into the breakdown of the badge layout. Now when it comes down to these badges, I'm going to go with Rise Up on bronze as well as Fearless Finisher. I also like Silver Aerial Wizard for the core badge, Back Down Punisher with Gold Pro Touch. Now this is one of those areas that's definitely going to be worth throwing extra badges towards. You definitely want to be able to get Posterizer out of this build, and it's definitely possible, especially if you make adjustments towards the attributes. When it comes down to the shooting, I'm going to go with Limitless Range. Also Agent 3 on Silver, Gold Green Machine, a Volume Shooter with Amped, as well as Hall of Fame Space Creator. Now here's going to be a few different jump shots that we're actually able to pick and recreate from, just to give y'all an idea of what this build is going to be looking like on the shooting perspective. Now with the playmaking, I'm going to go with Bronze Vice Grip, Handles for Days, Silver Core Killer combos, Quick First Step, Hyperdrive with Gold Ankle Breaker. Now with this build, I'm telling y'all, you could go ahead and definitely switch up a few of the playmaking badges if you wanted, but I think this is the best layout that you can possibly go with, especially if you're looking to dribble and ISO. Now for the defensive end, pretty stacked out of this area. I'm going to go with Bronze Rebound Chaser, also Gold Clamps, Core Anchor, Glove Interceptor with Box Out Beast, and Hall of Fame Chase Down Artist. Now as you can see from this area, there's a lot of other badges that we can pick from, so go about the setup based to your own liking and playstyle. But be sure to let me know in the comments, what did y'all think about this build and video today? Did you make it exactly how I brought it to y'all, or did you make your own version? Now look, thank y'all for the support, and if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family, but more so than anything, comment down TG for thank God, as well as where you're tuning in from watching today, and I most definitely will be sure to hit y'all back with a response. But with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.